Simple question, which I know is not going to get a simple answer, or maybe there is not a simple answer to this. How do we go from a team first 3 months that looked like world beaters to now you just scratch your head when you watch these guys play?
Well, first of all, if you really watch this play and you analyze the games, we were struggling through all that. We wasn't playing our best basketball.
Even in December or January?
Well, I mean, we were down at halftime almost every game,
right.
But we came back and we beat a lot of teams that were struggling at that time. We just overpowered them with our defense, and we scored enough to win. But a lot of this has been brewing for a long time. I knew we had some problems. So what I try to do at trade deadline, try to fix them problems. And now we're not playing well at all. I mean, we're all out of sync. Our defense is not carrying us the way it did earlier in the year. And for us to have success, we got to be a top-notch defensive team.
Fans are fans, just like the rest of it. They want to know what's up. A lot of them point back to that trade deadline, moving Danny Granger, picking up Evan Turner. In some strange way, did that take chemistry out of the locker room at all?
No, these guys are pretty tight. You know, they complain at times about different things, but they like one another.
You guys complain a little bit?
They're players. I mean, you know, I can tell you a story about when I first got in the league. Dave Cowens told me, if you don't start complaining, you'll never be a good NBA player. So, but we have some guys are not playing well, and they're frustrated. Now our whole team's not playing well. Our bench is not playing well. But I really believe that from watching the team early on, I felt that we needed to do something at trade deadline to try to right the ship.
That takes me back to the Atlanta game. Okay, Roy sits out in second half. By the way, how much do you read into body language? Because that's what everybody was reading into. He's down there, he's sulking at the end of the bench. Did that frustrate you at all?
Well, I was frustrated like everyone else was. If you watch Lance day in and day out, his body language is not the best in the world, but he gets some stuff done for you. Roy will be fine. Roy hadn't played as well as he likes to play, but I think that for us to go where we want to go, Roy's got to be the guy, because he's the guy in the middle of the defense, and when he's playing well in the defensive end, we play well.
But his numbers are down, though, since the All-Star break. Is that just because you think being fatigued a bit, or? I
think a little bit it's fatigue. I don't want to make excuses for these guys, but he's just not playing that well. And but defensively, we're not playing well. And for us to win, we got to defend.
Andrew Bynum, you go back to his debut, I thought it was spectacular. He looked great out there. Do you think we'll see Andrew again in the playoffs? What's the timetable on Andrew?
I'm not a doctor. Andrew's knee swelled. We want to get all the swelling out of there, and we want to get him back slowly.
Right.
Obviously, we brought him in for one reason, that's the playoffs. You know, people don't remember, but 2 years ago, he's probably the best center in the league.
Right.
So if we can get anything out of him, you know, 15, 18 minutes a game, he can play. We know he can play. Right. It's just getting him out there. Now, how he'll react as far as coming back, that's, you know, we got to wait and see. But if he stays dry in his knee and keeps the swelling out there, he'll be fine.
Frank took the entire starters out of the game the other night against Atlanta. Are you seeing the things you'd like to see, coaching-wise, from Vogel at this point?
I back Frank 100%. There's some things early on the season, like I said, I went to him and told him that we need to clean everything up.
You told him he needed to bring the hammer a little bit. Did you not?
That's not Frank's personality.
Right.
That's my personality at times, but that's not Frank's personality. I think Frank does it in his own way. I think all of us need to be held accountable. I've always said that, from the top to the bottom. Because really your leadership starts at the top and just works its way down to the trainers and everyone else.
Right.
But it's a tough thing because we've never really been in this position. You know, I mean, we lost games and we played bad, but not on a consistent basis like we're doing now. We're not playing well, and we know that. Okay, what can we do to make us better? Well, we got to go back and make the game fun and simple.
You talk about fun. I'm not sure about the simple part when it comes to Lance. Nothing simple with Lance. But I've watched Lance out there, and when he's in a spurt, there's nothing more fun in that arena, then the fans. I mean, I look over at you. You got a big smile on your face to see him play.
Well, sometimes.
This is kind of. But I mean, he's kind of your baby. I mean, he's you're the one that kind of.
I see him in practice, and even the first day he got here, some of the stuff he was doing in practice, he changed the whole atmosphere, the whole speed of the game,
right,
and things he does. The other night, he took it upon himself to change the game, and he did. But sometimes he can cross the line. He tries to do too much. I mean, he can do things out there that other players can't do.
How much of all this, though, Larry, goes back to this being a young team? Maybe some immaturity is involved outside of David West.
Yeah.
Some of it, yeah.
Some of it, yeah. But, I think they're tied in enough to care for one another. They've waited all year to get to this point.
Right.
And this is their opportunity. And if you look at our older players, Scola and David, they don't get this opportunity very often. They might not never get it again.
That window's closing for those guys.
It's closing,
yeah.
and they know that. And I remember when I played, we got to the finals, and I tell these guys, I said, we might not get here again.
Right.
We got to take advantage of this moment. And we won some, we lost some. But you just never know. One injury could knock you out for the whole season.
Knock on wood, this team's been pretty healthy, though.
Well, we got a great medical staff. Yeah. so we have been pretty healthy, and we got gamers. We got guys that like to play, and we've had some luck on our side. So let's take advantage of it.
This has got to be killing you, though, to see this team, the way you've molded it. You improved the bench from last year. You've done a lot to improve this team. Great start. Now here we are. I mean, for you to watch this play out,
I'm like any other fan. If you really care about it, when you're not playing well, you're very upset. When you're playing well, you sort of say you worry about the next problem arising. But I said earlier in the year we're in. I think if we don't make the East Conference Finals or the finals, it's going to be a bad year for us because I know the talent we have.
Right.
I think it's just up to the players to say, hey, we got to do this. And the way they do it is start guarding people. If they start guarding people, they can hold them under 90 points, and that puts us right in a position to win.
It's all about Miami, too, isn't it?
Well, I know that Charlotte, Washington, all them teams are a lot better. Toronto, I mean, they're a lot better now. It's not going to be no cakewalk.
Right.
It could be some 7-game series. They can beat us here. They can beat us on their own court. But it's a battle. That's what the playoffs are about. But our goal is to get the Eastern Conference Finals, and we believe that Miami's going to be there. They're the world champions. They're a well-oiled machine, and we want a shot at them.
Yeah.
And for us to do that, we got to start playing better, and we can't look past anybody we're playing. We got to think we're the underdog every time we go into a game, and that mentality hopefully will carry them through. But I think they continue to push and stay together and get their rest and start defending. It's always on the defensive end. I've never been on a team that outscored people to win. We had to eventually in the playoffs we had to start guarding people.
Right.
Well, even though I couldn't play much, but I had to start playing a little bit. But defense wins championships.
And defense travels too. That's the cliche.
Sure.
That should, above everything else, be able to sustain you to a victory.
But if you watched us in the last 3 months, 2 months, we haven't defended. We really haven't defended the way we defend. I mean, I go to every practice. I know what guys are supposed to do when the ball's rotated or pick and roll. And I can sit there in my seat at the games and see guys missing assignments all the time.
It's not happening out there.
It ain't happening. I mean, they go under picks. They try to shortcut sometimes. And that's the things that get you in trouble. And it's hurt us here in the last month and a half.
If nothing else, I was hoping you'd be brutally honest. It's Larry Bird. You're going to be brutally honest, so thank you.
Well, I love my players. They're good kids.
Yeah.
They want to win. Sometimes I wish it was just a little mentally tougher. But I think they'll come through this, but it's painful getting there. It's been very painful for all of us, but we still won over 50 games. That's a pretty good goal.
Yeah.
But when the playoffs start, we feel that, I still feel that this team has an opportunity to play for a championship, but they got a long way to go to get there.